Welcome one, welcome all to the Cassidy Connors Children in Need Special. That's right.
There'll be a new world beginning from tonight. There'll be a new world beginning from tonight. When I climb up to my saddle and I take into my heart, there'll be a new world beginning from tonight.
Welcome one, welcome all. Today is all about children in need, which we raise lots and lots for each and every year through donations and charitable causes and events taking place. And this week, we hope on this special Friday edition of Musicality to inspire you and encourage you to donate to those in need, those that need support, those that want to eradicate poverty, and those that want to save the planet, save the children, and save our human race. There'll be a new world beginning from tonight. Ping-a-pang, pang-pong. Ping-a-ping, pang-pong. I chose to open today with There'll Be a New World Beginning because in my infinite years of musical theater, Keith Loosemore, our departed up in the heavens musical director, used to warm us up for our Christmas pie concerts with this. And as we're coming up to the Christmas season and we're all getting charitable and more encouraging the human race to love one another, I thought a nice one to start the show with today. And I know some of my pals of the theater will be smiling and laughing and remembering our studio time with him waving his baton and the good times. Welcome to the show, and hopefully a new world beginning from tonight. It is episode 39, as well as it being a Children in Need charity special. So we are going to ask you to dig deep in your pockets to make sure that this world can be saved and near and far, not just here in the UK, but the devastating effects of places like Yemen and the third world nations, which we hope to improve and make better through donations and, all of the Red Cross situations where food is parceled out to every corner of the world that we can get to save where we can. And indeed, with it being our 39th episode, it is a little celebration and reflection of the war years with the Great World War II, starting in 1939. I thought a nice one to reflect upon would be some of the greatest war songs that we've been a part of when we've been at war ourselves, not just in World War II or World War I or the wars on terror or whatever wars we've lived through or our grandparents or great-grandparents have lived through. The modern battles we've all ensued as well, not just out in the field in the Somme or Dunkirk and places like that, but some of the battles we have in modern life as well, which we all have from time to time, let's be honest. But I'm going to be more charitable and think about more of the children in need this week, but we are going to have a few songs to remember all of the wars and everything that we stood for our freedoms, and with it being Remembrance Sunday just last week, for all of us soldiers of freedom, I stand for us. And all of you who have also stood for me, I thank you. And we will continue to, for future generations, to hopefully never endure what some of us have endured before in previous generations or decades or centuries to make a better world. Our world leaders, our communities, and our fellow men and women upon this planet will start to nurture and love one another again. And as we quoted in Rodgers and Hammerstein's King and I, with lovely words by Margaret Landon, unless someday somebody trusts one another, there'll be nothing left on earth except fishes. So think on that. Unless we start trusting one another to make things happen again and reconfigure all of our diaries after the mayhem and nightmares that the last 18 months or so has been, we are really, really looking ahead in this winter and into next year. Everything will be going ahead. And finally, now people have their confidence back somewhat, making things happen again. And we will do our best to do good as we always have for so many years and so many different causes and different charitable statuses. I've gosh, done my bit for many, many charities over the years, from, the cancer treatment centers and, the Help the Heroes, as well as Children in Need, and the local theatre charities, which a lot of registered charities we've worked for over the years, and the Terence Higgins Trust with World AIDS Day coming up on the 1st of December to remember all of the charities from that genre that we stood for and raised so much for worthwhile research and causes, the Sussex Beacon and our Havens, and all of the things that we have done for our local charities when we've needed to as well, to raise much needed funds for those who are living in poverty, and the great children's charities like Great Ormond Street and Bernardo's and Oxfam, and all of those things that we've done over the years. And the LGBTQ community, the kids that may feel a little out of place in the world, letting everybody know that never feel out of place. There is a place for us all somewhere in this great universe to accept, to live, to understand different lifestyles. We'll never all be the same, ever. Never, ever, ever. But we will all be part of the same planet and the same human race. So we have to understand that our lifestyles, different age groups' lifestyles, are massively different from other generations. Younger people are different to older people. Middle-aged people who may be the same age are completely different. You may have been raised in the same school with similar parents and everything else, but your careers and your lifestyle choices may be so different. Some people love people who are much, much older than them. Some people love people who are much, much younger than them. You may be in a relationship with many years difference in age. It doesn't matter. If you are happy and you love and make good of the world, this massively strange, bizarre, and wonderful world in which we live, then we can all get along. Start helping rather than hindering the human race.
It's a lovely war. Three years old, you're eight. Oh, it's a shame to take the pain. As soon as the rally is gone, we feel just as heavy as lead. But we never get up when the sergeant brings our breakfast up to bed. It's a lovely war. Oh, what do we want with eggs and ham when we've got plum and apple jam? Pause, right turn. How should we spend the money we earn? Oh, it's a lovely war. Up with wasted water, up with your ice and slush. Using the kind of language that makes the sergeant blush. Who will join the army? That's what you're required. Don't you think the impossible is sitting inside the fire? But we never get up till the sergeant brings our breakfast up to bed. It's a lovely war. What do we want with eggs and ham when we've got plum and apple jam? Pause, right turn. How should we spend the money we earn? It's a lovely. It's a lovely. Lovely
Oh, what a lovely war. The title song there from the wonderful movie that was filmed on the West Pier in Brighton. And, oh gosh, what a show and what a great song to open with in this, our 39th edition. Of course, Oh, What a Lovely War celebrated and reflected the First World War, which could have been stopped had people have communicated a little better. And couldn't that be said for any war? Conversation solves everything. The great, wonderful cast there with featuring marvelous characters and great actors of our day. The likes of such greats as Ralph Richardson, Laurence Olivier, John Gielgud, John Ray, Maggie Smith. I mean, the list goes on. Back in 1969, they musicalized and filmed the great, wonderful war years. And And I thought a good one to start with because, really we're all out there for the good and the great and to make a nicer and happier world. Nobody really wants war, but sometimes we have to put our defenses up to make for a better world. And talking of the piers, with the filming of that being on the now rack and ruins of the West Pier, the Gaiety Pier, the South Parade Pier in Southsea, holds a great event this evening, raising much needed funds for the charities. So if you can get along, tickets are just £10 with a huge amount of artists from near and far coming together, great bands, musicians, singers. Down at the Black Balloon Sessions are doing a special event at the Gaiety this evening, and keep an eye out for all of the great shows and events that happen there on the pier. You can get great food. There's a lovely restaurant there, as well as the amusements for the kids and everything else, and nice little fairground on the end of the pier in season when everything's open. And if you can get along, many worthwhile causes happening there, and I'm looking forward to getting into production next year with some of the shows we have coming up. And we were looking at doing Snow White. And that was the last panto I performed in, actually, in Brighton at the Paganini Theatre. And we had a great song in the show, and I thought, sometimes in marriage between a prince and a Snow White, or princes and princesses, or just men and women, or men and men, or women and women, if we really want to raise the wars, and accepting all, no matter what race, color, creed, sexuality you are these days, you should be entitled to love and be happy with your partners. It's 2021, not 1921. And you are all entitled to love. And we sang this in panto in Snow White, and also in Cinderfella when we did that down at the Salis Benny Theatre. And it's a lovely tune, and it's all about marriage. So this is for those of you that have had to battle through differences and old relationships, perhaps, to find the ones you love and say, I think I'm gonna marry you. From Earth to Mars. For all the lovers out there, if you're getting married, or if you're married, or you want to just celebrate your togetherness, a beautiful song. And we had a great time putting that into one of the pantomimes for Snow White. 7 puffs and a piano. We had a great time doing that show. And also, it should be celebrated. And the message really is to all the children out there who may be in need or living and struggling through difficult times. Always be what you want to be. Let people guide you, but ultimately always be your own person and do what you want to do in life. And just because somebody else thinks that you're different or wrong doesn't mean that you are. It's very, very based upon opinion of how one person should lead their life compared to how another person leads their life. So if you are willing to donate for children in need, and there are so many children in need in this country and in every country around the world. There are so many causes that children in need will go to the most in need. And your funds and the money that you donate will be given so pleasurably to those that need it the most. And funds will always be needed. From the richest in society to the poorest in society, the world has to help one another. So if you can, within your heart, even if it's the most minuscule donation, or if you can afford more, be it a penny, a pound, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 100 pounds, 1,000 pounds, a million pounds, whatever you can donate, loose change or pounds, dollars, pence, a mark, a yen, a buck, or a pound, we would have said in the European days of the yesteryears. Whatever you can donate, please, please, please give handsomely and beautifully to the different causes. You can go online to donate via the Children in Need website. You can make a one-off donation or make a monthly donation or make a donation to a specific program appeal. And you can click on the program to donate. A Rickshaw Challenge, Country File Ramble, DIY, SOS, Drumathon. There are many you can donate to. Also, you can go to donate by text or post office or phone, bank or building society, or pay into school fundraising donations. And that's all via the Children in Need website or bbc.co.uk/contact questions, program information, how can I donate to Children in Need 2021. All the information is there. The number to text if you wish to make a donation is 70420. That's 70420. All you have to do is text donate to 70420, which will donate £20, okay? And that's via the text message line. You can also make different donations by using a short code. If you look online, you can see all the details, but you can text 5 to 70701. That's £5 donation, or 10 to 70701, which will donate £10, or 20, 30, 40 to 70701. So the number to text a short code to is 70701 with the amount you want to donate, 10, 5, 30, 20, or you can do it the other way, which is donate to 70405, which donates £5, donate to 70410, which donates £10, or donate to 70420, etc. You can just change the amount you want by the last two digits to donate more. So that's the way to do it, guys. And please give whatever you can. And you can go directly to the website, which is donate.bbcchildreninneed.co.uk/your donation to make a direct donation amount. Whatever you can afford, please, please donate. And it goes towards so many worthwhile charities and causes. So, from marrying and love and whatever you can within your marriage and your hearts donate, to the more difficult, complex relationships of life and the understanding of our different lifestyles. And this is from a lady's perspective. And as we're still in the war years, sometimes a lady or a man have to understand their different lives within their marriage. After the honeymoon period and the joyful dating and everything else, when you settle into your marriage and have kids and whatever else, sometimes this can be what a lady or a gentleman may stand for, what their relatives and their partners do. From 9, which we'll be celebrating the 40th anniversary of next year, this explores how a husband is a movie maker, and understanding the many different relationships professionally a person can have out of the closeness of their relationships that they have with their husbands or wives.
Still, Signora Contini, it must be a very exciting life. My husband makes movies. To make them, he lives a kind of dream in which his actions aren't always what they seem. He may be on to some unique romantic theme. Some men run banks, some rule the world, some earn their living baking bread. My husband, he goes a little crazy, making movies instead. My husband spins fantasies. He lives them, then gives them to you all. Like Michelangelo, he paints his private dome, but can't distinguish what's his work and what's his home. Some men sell stocks, some men punch clocks, some leap where others fear to tread. My husband, as author and director, makes up stories in his head. Guido Contini, Luisa Contini, number one genius and number one fan. Guido Contini, Luisa Contini, passionate woman in love with this man long ago. Many years ago, once we two were Guido Contini, Luisa his lover, actress with dreams and a life of her own. Then we had no end of worlds to discover, singing together all night on the phone long ago. Someone else ago. Signorina Cari, per favore.
So you see the changing worlds we live through, and the understanding of marriages and relationships, and how our worlds change according to the pictures and the shows we're involved in. And understanding that some of the things that happen in life, arts in society we call it, reflect some of the things we're working on in the movies or on the theater stages, and giving an insight into understanding. And some of those elements of marriage are the most difficult and hardest to understand. And fathoming fact from fiction is always a challenge for all of us. And now to something a little more lighthearted, from the wonderful Fanny Brice musical Funny Girl, and of course the lovely creation of Fanny Brice that Barbra Streisand got to recreate with Sidney Chaplin in 1964. The great score by Julie Stein and Bob Merrill, and one of the greatest musicals ever written that reflect any young up-and-coming star of the vaudeville and musical stage into Broadway and the movies. This is a great song to play in reflection of the war years, as it's our 39th episode. A reflection and pastiche and parody of the great wars of different nations. Rat-tat-tat-tat is an onstage vaudevillian's comedy reflection of the war. And I recently saw Sheridan Smith do this at the Savoy Theatre. And they did a great, spectacular production, which was really top-notch. And this show very rarely gets played out. It's not been in London since the original production until the revival not so long ago, just a few years back. So this one, I thought a perfect tune for the good old war years.
Our boys went rat-tat-tat-tat, rat-tat-tat-tat, and shot the Kaiser where he sat-tat-tat-at. With every pop that he popped, some crowd took a drop. American boys are all such straight shooters. We'll take care of him, mother, when he comes home from the war. We'll take care of him, mother. We'll do everything that you would do, yeah, and more. Rat-tat-tat-tat. We'll give their backs a big pat. They deserve a future full of joys, 'cause they're our Yankee Doodle, Yankee Doodle, Yankee Doodle boys. Company, order, arm. Roll call. I'm Private Jones from Arkansas.
I'm Private Smith from Kansas.
I'm Private Ryan from Maine.
I'm Private Burt from Wisconsin. I'm Private O'Brien from Texas. I'm Private Muntz from Michigan. I'm Private Schwartz from Rockaway. And I guess you heard reports that the Kaiser runs a block away. Then they tell him, here comes Schwartz. 'Cause when I get mad, believe it, Jack, out from nowhere comes a maniac. I'll kick in the foot, I'll shut in the pants, I wouldn't give a second chance. Schwartz win Rockaway.
Private Schwartz, Private Schwartz, Private Schwartz from Rockaway.
Met Mademoiselle from Armatian, and my bagels gave a spin. Oi, oi. She said, Private Schwartz, come closer, dear. But it's a mess I got in. When you're fighting for democracy, call on Irving Schwartz and Company. I'm true, red, white, and bluish. I talk this way because I'm British. Tell for Rockaway, don't pull the dock away, 'cause sailing home is General Schwartz.
Wonderful, beautiful reflections of those great years. And one of the greatest musicals of all time, Funny Girl. And our beautiful, beautiful fights for democracy. And when you get a little older, children out there, you'll understand what we've fought for all of these years, for our freedoms, our democracies, and our understanding of one another. And remember, this edition of The Great Warriors is all for children in need. I'm going to battle your ears until they bleed with me, churning down your throats, charity, and raising donations where we can, for who we can, all around the world. And it takes all of us to believe in different causes to really make a difference within charity. So please donate whatever you can. 70701. Donate the word of the amount you want to donate. 10, 20, 30, a million, whatever you can. 70701. And of course, Children in Need is going to be aired live on BBC this evening to watch all of the great artists and presenters and the like come together from 7 through till 10 p.m. this evening on BBC One. And seeing as I'm mentioning our 39th edition, we have been working on a musical, as I've mentioned a couple of times in previous episodes, and it's going to be spectacular. Once the music is completed for the project, the working title of the Blitzglitz, different from Lionel Bart's The Blitz, I hasten to add, for those of you purists out there, and a completely different story of the wonderful years of 1941 and present day. A kind of, just to give you a little teaser of information on the show, there's elements of the back and forth between the past and the present, a little Follies-esque, a little Goodnight Sweetheart-esque, and you will just love it. What we've written and collaborated on with the libretto is fantastic, and it's completely different from anything that's about at the moment, and it reflects on those tantamount war years and how the stiff upper lip of this great nation kept us all going and made us hope and pray and whatever you wished for and love and battle for our rights and our wrongs. And I thought we would take you to that great Nicholas Lyndhurst television show that was Goodnight Sweetheart, in reference of our 39th edition and in reference of some of the project's parts that we've been working on. This is for hopefully a good night, sweetheart, which is what I'm hoping the world will have tonight. A good night for children in need.
Good night, sweetheart. All my prayers are for you. Good night, sweetheart. I'll be watching over you. Tears and parting may make us forlorn, but with the dawn, a new day is born.
The wonderful Goodnight Sweetheart, a fabulous show, and one of my favorites, created by Lawrence Marks and Morris Grain, and a great show. Of course, the star Nicholas Lyndhurst was most famous, I think, in his younger years for the likes of Butterflies and Only Fools and Horses, which of course is playing at the Haymarket in London still, so you can get your tickets for that great show, Only Fools and Horses, the musical. And of course, one of the greatest things to come out of the BBC, which is played for many years with Del Boy and Grandad and Raquel and Cassandra, and all of our histories there. Beautiful. And now to, I suppose, a battle of the sexes, as we're reflecting different war zones. And there's not so reflective of a battle than sometimes between a man and a woman, or the male and female of the species. And I'm taking you now to the 1967 movie, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And the great song of that period, things have changed a lot, and women are so much more empowered than they ever were back in those years. This song is called A Secretary Is Not a Toy, and I've been in this production back in 1999, showing my age, and choreographed the show and directed it, and it's a show that we're going to be reviving, and I'm very excited. The great stars to have appeared in this show over the years have been the creationists of George Abbott and Bob Fosse in the very early productions, along with the great Robert Morse and Rudy Valley as Bigley and Finch, and the great Sebastian and Perry at the New Theatre Royal, and the great George and Cross at the revival at the New Theatre Royal, along with the most recent revival being the great star of Harry Potter fame, currently playing at the Palace Theatre. And the great original Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, played the role of J. Pierpont Finch. And the 90s production actually was on Broadway with Megan Mullally, Karen of Will and Grace fame, and Matthew Broderick, which was a beautiful production. And many different productions have played out over the years, and I thought this a nice one for the businessmen of the world to remember that their secretaries are more than what they perceive as just a toy. So the great Mr. Bratt, who in our production, Ben McCready played this role, and explored the respect a gentleman should give a lady in the office. So I thought a nice one for the war zone songs. I hope you like this.
A secretary is not a toy. No, my boy, not a toy. To fondle and dandle and playfully handle in search of some puerile joy. No, a secretary is not, definitely not, a toy.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Brandt.
We wouldn't have it any other way, Mr. Brandt.
It's It's the company rule, Mr. Brad.
A secretary is not a toy. No, my boy, not a toy. So do not go jumping for joy. Boy, a secretary is not. A secretary is not. A secretary is not.
A toy. A secretary is not to be used for play therapy. Be good to the girl you employ. Boy, remember no matter what, you're running trouble you got. A secretary is not a toy.
The wonderful stylings there of Bob Fosse's creation, and recreating that was a magical moment in our careers. All of us that have been a part of that production, and we'll get to revive it again for our future generations, because the children have to have the privilege of some of the shows that we've worked on. And doesn't it give you the style of Are You Being Served, and that great movie and pastiche kitschness of the 60s and 70s? Amazing. I'll be giving you details through December of all the definitive dates of shows into next year. You lucky, lucky things. Now taking you back to the moments between the Great Wars, back to 1933 with Ruby Keeler and Warner Baxter and our greats, and all of us that have been a part of the 42nd Street Company for all the years. We're almost 90 years on from the original movie. And all the revivals in all of the nations around the world have given an insight into the Great White Way of New York, and the wonderful moments that we've all had recreating the choreography that was designed through the recreations of Jacqueline Willis and all of our great choreographers from Sebastian and St. Martin and Knight and Mere and Cumberledge and everybody who's recreated this show over the years. And our originals, Randy Skinner and the great Gower Champion, who created some of the greatest masterpieces on Broadway. Here's a little of the 42nd Street Ballet, and when the intrigue of all the different parts of society come together, the sailors, the GIs, the gangsters, the malls, the stars, and the hoofers, well, it ends up as the 42nd Street Ballet. Here's Leroy Reams and Wanda Richard in the 1980 original Broadway production of 42nd Street.
In the heart of little old New York, you'll find a thoroughfare of little old New York that runs into Times Square. A crazy quilt that Wall Street Jack built. If you've got a little time to spare, I want to take you there. Come and meet those dancing feet on the Come and meet those dancing feet on the avenue. I'm taking you to 42nd Street. Hear the beat of
part of the ballet there. Just an excerpt for you lucky folk, all the Charlene's who have fronted the number, and Jackie's when I've worked on the show, and Vanessa and Sarah and, oh gosh, Emily and all the greats. Caroline and all of us that have been a part of great, great production values such as 42nd Street. And remembering that sometimes our battles are on stage, and through a ballet, well, we can tell a million tales through the dance. So all the future companies that will get a chance to do that in the years to come, and many, many people will, as one of the greatest Broadway musicals of all time to have been seen in perhaps every corner of the world just about. And of course, the marvelous Carol Ball, who gave it to the nation so many years ago. Fantastic. Thank you all for our creations that we've shared. And of course, Catherine Zeta-Jones was in the original London production at Drury Lane, and the great Betty Legs Diamond, who also kicked up a leg in the chorus back in those days before becoming a huge star of Funny Girls herself. And talking of sailors, GIs, and the like of 42nd Street, in 1949, back in the great 40s, the wonderful On the Town was movied, and I got to do the show back in 2016, I think. So for Caroline and I that shared this number, and the great cast of On the Town at the Playhouse when we got the chance to do this, a great show that explored when a sailor is exploring the city and where the cabbies can show him around. Come up to my place.
I will take you any place you want to go.
I shouldn't do this.
Come on, Chip.
Okay. Just a quick tour of the city.
And then up to my place.
Oh, but...
It's all settled. Where do you want to go first?
My father told me, Chip, my boy, there'll come a time when you leave home. If you should ever hit New York, be sure to see the Hippodrome.
The Hippodrome.
The Hippodrome.
Did I hear right? Did you say the Hippodrome?
Yes, you heard right. Yes, I said the... Hey, what did you stop for?
It ain't there anymore. I eat a sang an A and blew the place away.
I wanted to see the Hippodrome.
Give me a chance, kid. I haven't got 5,000 seats, but the one I got's a honey. Come up to my place.
No, the Forest Theater. When I was home, I saw the place, the Ladies' Drama Circle showed. Now I am here, I want to get some tickets for Tobacco Road.
Tobacco Road.
Yep, Tobacco Road.
Did I dig that? Did you say Tobacco Road?
Yes, you dug that. Yes, I said tobacco. Ow. Hey, what for did you stop?
That show has closed up shop. The actors washed their feet and called it Angel Street.
I wanted to see Tobacco Road.
Stick with me, kid, and I'll show you the road to ruin. Come up to my place.
No, Battery Park. Well, back home I dreamt of catching fish so big I couldn't carry them. They told me that they have my size right here in the aquarium.
Aquarium!
Aquarium.
Hold the phone, Joe. Did you say aquarium?
I'm still ringing. Yes, I said aquarium. Did you stop for one hand?
The fish have flown away. They're in the Bronx instead. They might as well be dead. Come up to my place.
No! Chambers Street. They told me I could see New York in all its spreading strength and power from the city's highest point atop the famous Woolworth
The
Tower.
Woolworth Tower.
The Woolworth Tower.
Beat me, Daddy. Did you say the Woolworth Tower?
I won't beat you, but I said the Did you stop for hey what?
That ain't the highest spot. You're just a little late. We've got the Empire State. Let's go to my place.
Let's go to Cleopatra's
No,
Needle.
go to my place.
Let's see Wanamaker's store.
Let's go to my place.
Go to Lindy's, go to Luch's
Go to
house.
my place.
Let's see Radio City and Herald Square.
Let's go to my
Let's
place.
go to Rubens.
Go to my place.
Go to Macy's.
Go to my place.
Go to Roxy.
Go to my place.
Cloisters.
My place.
Gimbals.
My place.
Flatiron
My place.
Building.
My
Hippodrome.
My place.
Fantastic. Memoirs of Sebastian and Bennett. Great, great memories we shared on stage. And some of the references of the war years there, or just post-war, should I say. Wonderful. And again, great show for all the family on the town and explores the wonders of New York City. And all the future generations that are going to get to see those wonderful places when we recreate the towns and cities as they should be once more. And remember, folks, children in need, keep donating. Number to text or donate on is, of course, 70701 for whatever you can donate. BBC Children in Need online.co.uk. Alrighty, a few more songs for you in this hour-long edition of the Children in Need and War Years special. All right, we're going to take you now to a great number from the Producers, which pastiches of Mel Brooks' creation. He so wisely and wonderfully made in the mid to late 60s a reference of the horrendous parts of the war and Hitler and everything as it was. And the Producers, Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder in the original production. Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick went on to do the musical, and many casts and companies since. A great show. And some of the scripts that were thrown to the producers that went throughout, a show they thought was going to be a flop, but was actually a huge success. Here's Guten Tag, Hop Hop, that the writer of the script Springtime for Hitler, which was actually a big hit, is referenced in the show. And, well, references the war years. Here's a little bit of the Producers.
Eins, zwei, drei. Gute Dog, hop, hop. Gute Dog, klapp, klapp. Ach, du lieber Hund, oh boy. Gute Dog, klepp, klepp. Gute Dog, step, step. Ach, du lieber Mann, oh treu. Oh, wir essend und fressend und tanzend und trinken. Tanzend und trinken und den Ficken stinken. Everybody, guten Tag, hop, hop. Guten Tag, klapp, klapp. Guten Tag, mein lieber Schatz. So, wir haben Haps und wir klappen Klaps. Und wir trinken Schnaps till vi Platz. Follow me. There you go. Ow. Hot touch me. Whatever you say. This is some tricky fun.
Referencing those crazy krauts of the wonderful, wonderful Producers. A hysterical, hysterical masterpiece of music and lyrics by Mel Brooks. And now to the nurses. The nurses who heal our wounds, who heal our thoughts, who heal our tempers, and the soldiers and nurses that may do it for our country.
It started. America is calling. Let's care enough to give our very best.
What started? What's happening, Louis?
The Russians are attacking. Get down! For if we give our very best, I know that we will more than pass the test.
What are you doing, Louis? Get off of me!
Think about it. What if you and me was to die right here tonight without ever doing it?
It? Oh my God! Let me out of here,
You
Louis!
crazy? They're dropping bombs out there. Yeah, let's do it for our country. The red, white, and the blue. It's Uncle Sam who's asking, so your mother will approve. Tomorrow I'll be fighting, and I'll win this war for you. Let's do it for our country. Our country wants us to. Bullets are exploding. They'll soon be at the door. Give something to America you never gave before. Yeah, let's do it for our country. The red, white, and the blue.
But are you sure my mother would approve?
Your mother don't even have to know about it, Sharon.
And you think we're old enough to go?
All the way.
Oh, Louis! But Louis, you might get hurt.
No.
Oh, God!
Just think about it, Sharon. It would be like as if we were doing it for the Statue of Liberty.
Or the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, the New York Yankees.
It'll be like we're doing it
We're doing it for
for Disneyland.
Yeah, let's do it for our country. The red, white, and the blue. It's not a lot to ask of us. Our parents will approve.
You'll be a mighty soldier.
Before this night is through, let's do it for our country. We owe it to our country. Let's do it for our country. Our country wants us to.
I'm ready, Louis.
Me too.
Hurry, come on. Let's go right up.
No, don't. Guess you didn't get any on the mooch.
Louis DiMucci. Oh, God. Ow.
So what the soldiers will do to convince the gals for a bit of nookie, huh? A little bit of nookie. All right. The doing it for our countries that we all do from time to time. Whatever's going on in the big bad world, love conquers all. And as I mentioned, the original Lionel Bart musical, Blitz, ! This is one for good old Blighty, for our country and our England, for there will always be an England, and merry England reigns on. In the 1962 West End produced version of the Blitz, and it's toured and been revived many years, most recently as an off-West End revival in 2020, not so long ago. It was at the Adelphi Theatre, and it was following the huge success of Oliver. It was just prior to Oliver, and what a composer Lionel Bart was, huh? And this references the great England. I hope you like this.
O'Hara. My name is O'Hara from Old Connemara. I live in a house at the top of the street. Me pals call me Cocker-eyed workers and Docker-eyed sooner be docking and digging up meat. One wife, two kids, one battery car. Finkelstein? Yes, my name is Finkelstein. This name I think is fine. Why should I bother to change it to Smith? I'm only a presser, no bigger, no lesser, unless I get richer, and that's a big if. One wife, 5 brats, and a cat. King High? Everybody knows me, I'm King High. Though living here, I'm wondering why. Now nobody sends me clothes to wash. Everybody washed your
Lionel Bart's The Blitz. How wonderful it was back then. The good old British spirit, huh? But on the note of This is England, we must remember how multicultural we are and never forget just how widespread our nations are. And I'm going to quote a little piece of material now, which I hope you listen to very, very carefully. Your car is German. Your vodka is Russian. Your pizza is Italian. Your kebab is Turkish. Your democracy is Greek. Your coffee is Brazilian. Our movies are American. Our tea is Tamil. Your shirt is Indian. Your oil is Saudi Arabian. Our electronics are Chinese. Our numbers are Arabic. Our letters are Latin. And people complain that our neighbor may be an immigrant. Pull yourself together and understand we are all a part of the globe. Remember that. Now, I mentioned Keith Loosemore, who was one of my very, very early MDs, musical directors on Calamity Jane and Dames at Sea when I was a child star. And all of us that remember our great previous musical directors of the yesteryears and all the things in wartime that we did for the boys. And this song I sang in my very, very first pantomime when I played Mother Goose. And in a couple of years from now, we are producing Mother Loose, an alternative version, bit of a naughty adult humored pantomime for Mother Loose instead of Mother Goose. And it's not as well popularized as some of the Cinderellas and Aladdins and other pantomimes out there these days, but it's a great show for the younger generations and infinite years to look upon Mother Goose. And in recent history, Honk was the story of the Ugly Duckling. But Bette Midler sang this number, Stuff Like That There, in For the Boys. And as we're in the war years, I thought this a great tune to play. And Bette sang it to perfection. And I sang this in pantomime. So it's nice to reference some of the songs that we've done in different areas of the theater, television, or movies. And just how important it is to remember, ladies, gentlemen, whatever creed, color, generation, sexuality, or gender that we are, that the girls and guys that have entertained some of the girls and guys that have been fighting for us, this is for you, for the boys.
Here she is, direct from the convent, Miss Dixie Leonard.
I was alone on a shelf, in a world by myself. Oh, where could my Prince Charming be? But a man came along, made my life like a song, and taught me these words of ecstasy. Tenderly, I want some hugging and some squeezing and some hugging and some teasing and some stuff like that there. I want some
When Bet played Dixie Leonard, absolutely phenomenal. All right, we're almost at the end of the show, guys. Remember, please give handsomely for whatever charities you believe in. Raise as much as you can and do as much as you can. If you don't have the financial means to donate, do what you can to support those that are doing things, and do things yourself if you can to raise money, be it a sponsored walk or whatever you want to do, an egg and spoon race or a charity quiz or a musical marathon, whatever you're doing. Thank you, and keep doing what we're all doing to make a more peaceful and wonderful and happy world for our future generations, our children in need. Time to let go of some of the hard things from the past and look forward to making this planet a safer haven for all of our children in need. Remember, the donation number to text through to, if you have the ability to do that, is 70701 with the amount you wish to donate. Or you can tune in to BBC One this evening from 7 till 10, or get out to the events that are happening in your local cities, towns, villages, halls, concerts, theaters, bars, clubs, where there are events taking place all across the nation to make things better for the children in need. Thank you for tuning in today, folks, and taking time to listen, and also to make the world a better place for all of the children.
All the children in a row, leaving home behind. We've a war to win, you know. We've a life to find. Have you been to Monterey? Didn't Janice sing? Casey's bus came by today. Steppenwolf is king. All the children in a row, flowers in their hair. Why do people turn away? Man, it isn't fair. There isn't a slammer now, boy. Is that a miss? Light a match and burn the card. Dr. Spock said yes. Proudly marching arm in arm, singing Dylan songs. No one is a stranger here. Everyone belongs. California's warm as love. I'm with friends I know in the gentle army of all the children in a row. Who can change things? We can. Who will change things? We will. And me and Danny running hand in hand, frisbees on the sand.
That be my old lady? What do you say?
Me and Danny, burgers on a bun, banners in the sun.
Might as well be my old lady. Everyone says you are anyway.
Turning in the night, hungry.
Look it, you're my wife, ain't ya? Promise not to laugh, will ya? Answer me one thing honest. Please don't tell a soul I asked you. Where's Cambodia?
Me and Danny walking down the street. How we gonna eat?
Dudes who ain't got no old lady, they move on, you know.
Me and Danny, why'd you pick that fight? No, it's not all right. We were brave together, strong together. Where's it gone? Do you have to take your gun? Come on, Danny, this is enough. We can make it. We'll survive. Danny, you're too stoned to drive. all the children in a row, confident and brave. We've a war to win, you know. We've a world to save. No one thinks we matter much. No one understands. But we made a difference by the joining of our hands. California's warm as love. I belong and to the gallant army of all the children in a row. Who keeps marching? We do. Who's the future? We are. We are. We are.
From the 1984 production of The Rink on Broadway, Liza Minnelli singing out for all the children in a row. And an excerpt of the show there, and her relationship when she played Angel. And oh gosh, it brings a tear to the eye, doesn't it? And makes us all think about all the things we have to do to make this world a better place. Educate our kids and believe in them, follow their dreams, listen to their hopes and aspirations, support, care, love, erase poverty. Let's work towards that and educating them in all aspects of life, not just geography, history, maths, and English, but day-to-day living in life and sexual education and all of those things. As long as we're not hurting anybody in this world, but educating and making the world a more peaceful and wonderful place. Let's make this world more fortunate, happy, and peaceful for all. Thanks for listening, folks. Please donate wherever you can for children in need. This episode has been a dedication to the war years. God bless you all. Thanks for listening. Take care now.
This step is once again our first. We set our feet upon a virgin land. We hold the promise of the earth in our hands. No flood from heaven comes again.
There's no journey gone so far, so far we cannot stop and change direction. No doom is written in the stars.
It's in our
I pray we're wiser. I pray we forgive. I pray that you forgive. I pray that and hope and wish that we create a new world. Create this day as a new beginning for all in a new world and an ever-developing and learning world of the unknown and the known and everything we can make for our children in need. Take care, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in.